Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio. We are still spilling the tea and committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman, live, direct, it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Good morning, Cayman. Good morning, Island Pearl. Good morning, Abby. Hello to Robert. Patricia Blake is in the house saying good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, my good people? Everybody's good? All right, give me one quick second. Let me just grab our links and we are going to get started here. Is it? Hold on. Yesterday was Tuesday. Yes. So that would make today Wednesday. Oh, these holidays got us all kind of confused. Yes, indeed. All right. The week is going by quickly. Get your stuff done. Everybody's good. So good to see you guys. All right. Things are looking good. All right, so we got some stuff to talk about today, and then we've got a guest that's going to be coming in, one of our expert segments. I love having them here on the program. Of course, you guys know how we do it. We don't sit here and just talk pure foolishness all day. No. We got to make sure that we get the experts in on the discussions who can tell us exactly what's going on. Morning to all of our Instagram folks. How's everybody doing? Morning, Windsor Park Group. Windsor Park, big shout out to them. We've got Washington Boulevard. Good morning to Washington Boulevard. And we also have, let me see here now, Caymanians in Florida. Hey, how you guys doing, honey chill? So nice to have all of you here every single morning pretty much with us. We are going to, let me just see, get this show on the road. And you guys notice that new feature? Those of you who are tuned into the show this morning. Honey, yeah, look at that. Look at that modern technology at work. Mr. Andy Martin's in the house. Hey, our good friend, musician. Mr. Andy, how you doing? Siobhan is here. We've got Marshall joining us from the US of A. Jean is here. Good morning, Jean. Oh, Jean, I need to send you something. I think I forgot to add you to a group and some messages. So I'm going to get you caught up. You just reminded me that I should do that now. Miss Charlene, good morning to you. Delcy joining us from Miramar, Florida. Morning for Delcy and her husband, Mr. Ben. Jim is here. Jim says, I've got my coffee. You bring in the tea, Sandy. Honey child, we're going to start early today because we've got a guest joining us about 8 o'clock. So I want to talk about something that was making the rounds yesterday. And that is, we're jumping right in. Our minister, oh, he's no longer minister. Oops, sorry, Kenneth. Our that was really a mistake. He's probably gonna think I did that on purpose now. Oh God, please don't make Kenneth cry today. KB, don't get in your feelings. It's actually a mistake. You're no longer minister, right? I'm not in Georgetown Central. Your representative for Georgetown Central did something that is very, very peculiar and interesting. So we got to talk about that. I'm sure you guys saw the story where MP Kenneth Bryan essentially decided to give a character reference for a prison officer who's being accused of taking drugs into the prison. Everybody saw this story? Well, honey child, if you didn't, let me just pull it up on the screen so that we all can see it here today. Yes, this was the story. And what a hot mess. So, Akil, morning to you, my darling. Wee wee. So this is an interesting story. Now, let me preface this story by telling you a little something, first of all, okay? So, actually, Kenneth Bryan and even Chris Saunders, in fact, provided character references for me when I had, let me see now. Hold on. I was trying to increase the page here so you guys can see this a little bit better. These browsers are always making all kind of changes, honey chow. But he actually gave a character reference for me in my Matthew Leslie case. And I want to acknowledge that because I think it's important. But there is a huge difference with that and what he's doing here. And so let's talk about what the difference is. The first thing to note is in my case, it was actually a situation where it was done after the conviction. What is happening here, which you got to think about how this could potentially impact. And let me just see, is he before a jury? Is he doing a jury trial? Let me think about this. I have to ask Renee if this is a jury trial. I'm assuming that it is, right? You run the real risk of influencing a jury. In my case, it was a situation where the only person that they were talking to, plus my 65 other reference letters, was the judge. So judges are not influenced by who you are. And in fact, in my case, the judge said that. He said, it's a bit unusual to have sitting ministers and MPs or whatever, because he wasn't a minister at the time, I don't think. I'm trying to remember now. That was back in 2020. Kenneth was not a minister yet. No, because he became a minister after that. But I think it was 2020, 2021. He may have been a minister. I can't even remember now. But, the judge said, listen, who you are, doesn't really, in terms of being a political figure, doesn't have any impact on how much weight I'm going to place. The weight is placed in the fact that this lady has umpteenth number of references from people from all walks of life. I had, former police officers, ministers of religion, business people, former drug addicts. I even had former drug addicts give me references. People who, could say, when I was at my lowest, Miss Sandy was there for me. And she, helped me, and she's advocated for women's rights, especially, women who are victims of sexual abuse and assault and sexual harassment. So they talked about, firsthand experience. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what I can't really say what the relationship is between Mr. Kenneth Bryan and what is this guy's name? I don't really know him, Darren Watson. I've seen Darren around. I don't really know him. I'm assuming he has Cayman Brack ties with that last name. I don't even know. But it is unusual for, and I dare say you would struggle to find someone of his political stature willing to get involved at the case level before a verdict even comes in. Listen, if he's found not guilty, then he walks. Let me just see here. But if he's found guilty, then you're there to give a character reference to say to the court, listen, he's a great guy, whatever. So that is a difference that is significant, not just you and I talking about it, but it's actually a significant legal difference for him to get up on the stand at this stage of the proceedings. It's almost as though he's trying to do what? Speak to his guilt or innocence? And this is something that could sway a jury for sure. Now, let me be very, very clear. I don't know Mr. Watson. I think I've seen him around to kind of wave at him from a distance. I have no clue who this man is. I don't know anything about him, except the one thing that I do know, and I want to make this really, really clear, is that people who are in the know, let me repeat that again. People who are in the know have said, Sandy, this guy has been doing this a long time. This not just come up yesterday. So I don't know anything about the man. I don't, he's innocent until proven otherwise. However, there are people who have said they know him and they know of his lengthy history. Now, when I think about who these people are, I said to myself, well, how would you know that? How would you know what this man has been doing for a long time? Well, these people have had boyfriends, baby fathers in prison. They've had people, running drugs themselves. And so they are perhaps in the best possible position to have an opinion, because that's all this is an opinion. This is still a trial stage, so we're not going to go too deep in it. But one of the things that I think is very, very interesting, and again, Mr. Watson is innocent until proven guilty. I'm assuming it's a jury trial, so that's why I don't want to go any further here. A jury of his peers. But I do think that it is interesting, and a lot of you picked up on this, that Kenneth Bryan, who himself has had a conviction for drug-related offenses, is the one who is going to give you a character reference when you were also charged with a drug-related offense. Now, class, this is what you call irony. This is ironic, okay? You ever heard somebody use the term ironic and you didn't quite know what that meant? This is an example of a situation that is very ironic. I'm just saying. I'm going to leave it there. It is very, very interesting. Matt says, prove it before judging. Well, that's for the prosecution to do. However, after the trial, we will talk some more. Because there's comments that have come up that I think are very, very interesting. Now, here's the conundrum that people seem to struggle with, okay? People struggle with the fact that he's a nice guy. Everybody is like, oh my God, he's such a nice guy. I know his parents, they're from Georgetown Central. They're nice people. Comprehend this. Nice people make poor decisions every single day. Nice people do bad things every single day. Being a nice person doesn't mean that you're not capable, or appearing to be a nice person, perhaps is the better term, does not mean that you are not capable of doing certain things. I've got messages coming in. People say they've been watching him a long time. This isn't a one-off incident. Oh my God. We're going to save the details until after the trial. We're going to talk about this after the trial because we don't want anything to mess up this trial for Mr. Watson. Yeah. But I see your messages. I see your comments, and we are going to park it right there and come back to it afterwards. Somebody says, I keep telling y'all Kenneth is corruption and not smart enough to cover his shit. Oh my God. What a mess. All right. So we'll come back to it. All right, good folks. Hang tight. But yeah, it is very, very interesting. All right. Island Pearl says, I love the headline. Have you seen the video about Minister J and the letter he so-called write to help an abuser from his district take the child from the mother? Can we fact check it, please? No, I haven't seen it. So I certainly can't comment on what I haven't seen. Where is this letter? I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it, but I'd certainly be interested in seeing it for sure. Jasara, good morning. Yes, KK, if it's a jury trial, which I wasn't sure just now, then we will definitely circle back. Leave it right there. We're not going to say another word. We'll leave it there and we will come back to it. All right. So very interesting times all over. There is a 4-car accident, folks, this morning by Island Heritage Roundabout behind the Ritz. Island Heritage Roundabout behind the Ritz. Oh, that roundabout. Okay. 4-car accident this morning. Was that coming out of West Bay or going into West Bay? All right. Okay. All right, let's see what else is going on. Good folks. Blackberry, good morning. So if there are many people, many more individuals doing the same or worse things, does that mean that we should ignore the bad that's being done? No. And you know, Blackberry, it's a good question, just sort of generally speaking. Do you, how much does it take? Okay, this is a conundrum of sorts, right? Someone is a good person. How much does it take of them doing bad for you to no longer consider them to be a good person? Not for nothing, but people have a very interesting way of sometimes disguising and hiding who they are. You know, in this day and age, we're all psychotherapists and we refer to them as, you know, narcissists and psychopaths even. You know, people who are psychopaths, they don't go around with a sticker in their forehead that says I'm a psychopath. Normally they try to come really nice until it's that moment for the psychosis to let loose on you. And then you're like, damn, crazy. They tend to, you know, pretend to be good people. They're going to shower you with gifts. They're going to take you out to dinner. Think of somebody like what was his name again? Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy limping around in his crutches. Oh, can you please help me? Oh, I've got a broken leg and I need to get in my car. You think any of those ladies suspected that he was not a good person? That he wasn't a nice guy? Nope. Not until he grabbed them by the neck and put some chloroform or whatever over their mouth and shoved them in the car. And even then, they probably wasn't realizing what was happening. And of course, after that, then, you know, when he's about to kill him, they're like, oh my God, you're not a good person after all. But look at him, handsome, smart, defending himself. And he was a complete sociopath. He was crazy, psychotic. It is difficult every single day for people who appear to be nice people. And this is why, you know, you have to be prepared to live in your truth. And so I've even had people say to me years gone by, you know, Sandy, I would hear you in the radio and, you know, I've had a talk show before and they're like, oh, you came across as someone who was, you know, like I couldn't approach you and talk to you and whatever. Normally these were guys who were trying to get my phone number. I'm going to be honest. They always tried this, you know, reverse psychology. Oh, I thought you were so unapproachable. Now, can I have your number? I was like, mm-hmm. And I look like I was born this size and this dumb because you think that's going to work on me. I said, keep me unapproachable, please and thank you. But I suspect that maybe some people actually thought that. Like, I don't know, whatever. But I'm like, that's interesting. The perception that people can have of you doesn't necessarily align with the reality. Think of how many people you actually thought in your life were really nice people, right? And, oh no, he's not capable. Like every single time somebody's a mass murderer or whatever, and they go talk to the neighbors, the neighbors be like, oh no, he's such a nice guy. Oh, we like him. He was quiet. Listen to the descriptions. He was such a quiet guy. He never bothered anybody except the 6 women he had in the basement or whatever. You just never know. You never know. And that's why, word to the wise, you know what Caymanian people would say, honey child, trust and believe that you do not, swear for anybody. Okay? That ain't your job because you just don't know. I'm just saying. But you cannot pretend forever. Whoever you are, the real you is going to, even if it takes 10 years, 20 years, whatever, the real you eventually comes to the surface. It's impossible for people to pretend forever. And so it's only a matter of time before you're going to get caught. Caymanians understand this. Caribbean people get it all too well. You know what they say? You take the bucket to the well every single day. Every single day you're doing certain things. And what's going to happen? One day, honey child, the bottom is going to drop out. That's what they tell you. Like there's a day of reckoning. Think about people from World War II. What's his name and his Nazi people? What was his name again? The crazy one there in the war. Hitler, right? Hitler and his Nazi people, sometimes the women were some of the worst. They were torturing people, killing Jewish people for no reason, torturing babies, experimenting on them, all sorts of wild, crazy, psychotic things. And so they did a lot. And then when the war was over and it was time for a reckoning and war crimes, they're being charged with war crimes, they were going to jail, whatever. Some of them ran. They ran all over the place. They ran to South America, all over Asia. They got away, right? And some of them hid for a really, really long time. And when they were finally discovered and they were finally found, some of them up in their 70s and 80s at that point, all of a sudden they were pretending like, oh, I didn't have anything to do with that. Me, a war criminal? Are you sure you got the right person? They're like, yeah, we know it's you. No, well, I wasn't, I wasn't the one who was in the torture gas chamber. I was just sitting in the office typing a letter. Everybody tries to downplay their part in all of these things. And I tell you what, it took sometimes witnesses who survived, if there were any survivors, to come forward and said, no. He was the one right there in the gas chamber killing all these innocent babies. And everybody's like, and wherever he was hiding out, oh my God, he was my nice little quiet neighbor, sitting in his garden every day, sipping on coffee. Never imagined that he was one of Hitler's henchmen. Honey child, you never know. Good morning to the beautiful Sharon Smith, watching all the way from Italy. Look at that. A Caymanian in Italy. Whoop, whoop. Big up yourself, Miss Sharon. I've been watching your pictures. Oh my God, so picturesque. Looks beautiful. And I can't wait till I get there. I'm going to be in Italy soonish. Now, I probably won't have the time to go and see all those beautiful places. So I think I've got to do an Italy trip just by itself because, boy, what a beautiful country. I love it. All right. Good morning, Alice. Diamond Princess is in the house. Says money and power change people within the blink of an eye. Not condemning anyone, just saying. And, sometimes it's not even money or power, because I think that what ends up happening when you have access to money and power is that it actually simply shows who you are, right? Who you've always been. It's just that you never had the access, perhaps, to do some of the things that you're doing. Let's think about, this Diddy trial. Every single day, something new is coming out. Now they're bringing some additional witnesses to corroborate what his ex-girlfriend, Casey Ventura, was saying. And you think about some of the things that he did, which really demonstrated who he was. Her mother testified about how he tried to bribe her. Well, it was a bribe. She sent the money. Now, this is a man who is like a millionaire times over, right? Imagine someone like that who has money and power, Diamond Princess, going to your mother, allegedly, because he's not yet convicted, and saying that, I've got videos of your daughter, compromising videos of your daughter, and I'm going to leak those if you don't pay me money. And you send this man who doesn't need it, probably didn't even want it, this was just a power play, $20,000 to just be able to say, look, I can get your mama to send me money. Because of course, a mother is, most mothers, trying to protect their kids. So she wired him, she took out an equity loan on her house to get 20 grand to be able to send to him to say, please don't release these videos of my daughter. Can you imagine? Wow. Money and power. But you have to recognize that people like that have always been like that. It's not the money that turns you into a bad person. So it's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy when you think about the things that people do. Hot mess. Let me see where my guest is. Perhaps he needs to refresh. Hold on one second. We're gonna just make sure that we're in the same studio, because we're gonna talk a little bit about sargassum this morning. Not sarcastic, sargassum. All right. Let me just check here. All right. Okay. So, what a thing. All right, let me see. Okay, this person says sorry was running. Oh. Oh Lord. Oh, really? Okay, we will talk about that. Remind me post-trial. We'll talk about it. That makes a bit more sense. All right. So, yep. We come into that. Don't worry. All right. So some of you were sending me this video of some women grinding up on a police car yet again. I feel like every carnival this happens. And, sometimes it's the officers themselves. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's the police car. And it certainly shows a level of disrespect, I think, for our police officers, without a doubt. And I'm not really sure why people continually do it. They think it's funny. I guess. It's not funny at all. All right, I think our guest might have just hopped into the studio. Let me just have a quick look here and see what's going on. All righty. Give me one quick second here. View. Okay, give me one second. All right. All right, very good. Yes, our guest is here. Let us welcome Dr. Who. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. Good morning, sir. How are you? Okay, I can't. Oh, I was saying I can't hear you, but that's because my headsets are not in. That might help. That would certainly help. All right. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Oh, I still can't hear you. All right. Let me just get you to check your settings. I don't see you muted on my end, so I'm not quite sure if it's another setting that's happening. I think I'm hearing something now. Good morning.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, loud and clear.
Great.
You're coming in amazingly clear. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Yes. So we have you for a limited time this morning, and we obviously want to talk to you a little bit about the sargassum. So first of all, we need to understand why you're an expert of sorts in this area. So if you could give us just a brief little rundown on your, what your professional qualifications are, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Well, my name is Chuan-Min Hu. I'm a professor of oceanography at
Yes.
the University of South Florida. I was trained as a physicist, optical physicist. So my area is to study how sunlight interacts with the ocean, with the sargassum. So based on how sunlight is reflected by the ocean, by the sargassum, I study how sargassum is, interacting with others. How much sargassum is here, there, and where is sargassum moving? I have been doing this for many, many years.
Yes. So optical oceanography seems to be quite an interesting specialty, I would say. And that's your professor there at USF. By the way, USF alumni here in the house. So thank you for
nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you so much. That was where I got my my bachelor's degree from way back in the day. So this would have been the, oh my goodness, mid to late, 92 to 95. Yeah, 95. So long time ago. I'm starting to feel a little bit old, but long time ago. Yes, many years ago. And USF has continued to be a leading university in research and so many amazing areas. And you're actually on Google Scholar as well, which is fantastic. So let's talk about the reason why you're here today, because you do a lot of work around harmful algae blooms, coastal water quality and pollution, even ocean color remote sensing, which sounds very, very interesting. But the one thing that is plaguing us in the Caribbean, and we saw some photos yesterday pop up, is this thing that we refer to as sargassum. Tell us exactly what that is, because boy, it looks so unsightly.
Well, sargassum is a brown macroalgae or brown seaweed that is abundant in the Atlantic Ocean. It used to be abundant in the Sargasso Sea, the northern part of Atlantic Ocean. But starting in 2011, a lot of sargassum accumulated in the Caribbean Sea and the tropical Atlantic. And this is what we see today. So this plant, it's a plant, lives its entire life in the surface ocean. It does not have a root. It reproduces vegetatively. A small branch can grow into a large mat. So a single individual clump has a size of our hand. It's the size of a hand. But many clumps can aggregate together to form a large raft or mat. In this case, you see, many, many millions of clumps aggregate together to cover the shoreline. So this is the problem many people see today. But most sargassum is not here. It's in the open water, in the Atlantic Ocean. And so that is a good thing for many marine animals. Only when you have too much of this good thing on the beach, then it becomes bad.
Yes. And it's interesting that you make note of the fact that around 2011 was when we started to see it emerge in the Atlantic. So what explains that phenomenon? What happened?
Well, the theory is the wind and ocean currents were both stronger than usual in 2010, 1 year before. So those stronger wind and currents drive the sargassum, this plant, from the Sargasso Sea to the tropical Atlantic. So it's bring something to a new region. So in the tropical Atlantic, we have everything that is required by sargassum to grow. Nutrients, the warm ocean, and the light. It's the tropics. We have sunlight every day. So they grow very fast. That's the theory.
Okay. Well, it seems like this time of year, there's a lot of it. So I'm assuming if it's considered a plant, so to speak, there must be some sort of a life cycle to it. So does that explain why we see it in abundance this time of year?
Well, the life cycle is the same every year. It grows in the spring to early summer, and in late summer, it starts to decay, dissipate. So every year it cycles the same way. As to why this year we have so much more than other years, that's primarily by nutrients and by ocean temperature. So this year we have more nutrients. Nutrients are just like a fertilizer to plants.
Yes.
You have more, they grow better. And the ocean water is warmer than usual at this time of year. That provides a better environment for sargassum to grow. That's the speculation. Of course, we need to investigate more with the scientific evidence.
Interesting. Now, it's a huge problem. Let's talk about why it's a big problem. 31 tons. I was reading an article.
Yes, 31 million.
31 million. Yes. My apologies. I was reading an article yesterday that was published in the Popular Science journal online, and it said 31 million tons of seaweed is ready to stink up Florida's beaches. When rotting on the beach, sargassum, it says, smells like a rotten egg. So, of course, it's out at the ocean. Just last week, I was in Cayman Brac, and I could see parts of it kind of floating out in the ocean, but it doesn't stay out there. Right? And this becomes part of the problem why we have an issue with it, is at some point it comes ashore, it messes up all of our pristine beaches. You know, we have beautiful white beaches that we're trying to keep attractive for tourists and for ourselves. And then it ends up looking like this picture that we see on the screen. Even the iguana, you notice the iguana sitting there looking at it. He's probably thinking, this is such a horrible sight. Is there anything that we can do to keep it from coming ashore?
Well, first, let me clarify. So you read an article from Popular Science?
Yes.
That said 31 million tons of sargassum would reach Florida?
Yes.
No, that's wrong.
Oh.
So the 31 million tons of sargassum are found in the tropical Atlantic. That's the total amount. So only a tiny portion will eventually reach Florida.
Oh, very good.
So that is very different from all these 31 million tons reaching Florida. Oh, that's really horrible. But no, that's not the case. Think about the vast Atlantic Ocean. If you have 31 million tons, in a large area, only a small portion will eventually come to Florida. Maybe 31 ton. You're right. At the beginning, you said 31 ton. That could be a right number. Okay. Or 300 tons.
Professor, as an English major, reading is very, very important for comprehension. So the title does say 31 million tons of seaweed ready to stink up Florida's beaches.
Okay.
It didn't necessarily say it was going to all get there. So you're absolutely right. Let me read that a little bit more carefully. But so the NOAA, who is, does all things ocean exploration related.
Of
course,
NOAA. Yeah.
Yes. They are watching this very, very carefully. They're talking about how it actually has an impact on ship operations even. It has an impact on, the island community at sea. So how it impacts the actual fish and so on. So it is something that is not welcomed in most places that you find it. And so the question then becomes, what can we do about it? If anything at all?
Well, learn how to deal with this, how to mitigate the impact. Sargassum is a natural plant, and sargassum bloom, meaning a lot of sargassum accumulate or grow into large mats or rocks. We call that a bloom. Sargassum bloom is also a natural phenomenon, regardless of how much. This is just like a hurricane. It's a natural phenomenon, and you have no way to stop it. Yes. The best way is to understand and learn how to mitigate, to prepare for its beaching. But, by prepare, I mean you can deploy booms to prevent sargassum from beaching, or you can send boats to collect sargassum before it reaches the beach. Or you have the right equipment and the people to remove sargassum from the beach once it lands on the beach before it gets rotten. So in any case, the ability to know where and how much sargassum is there it's important. It's the critical information needed by many people to make informed decisions.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. We do have a few of our listeners who have questions for you as well. So Damien says, question, sir, does runoff from the farms with leaching cause sargassum to die?
Well, that's a great question. I don't have an answer, but sargassum dying, it's a natural process. But if you have a lot of sargassum accumulating in one place, let's say it's very thick, they don't receive sunlight, they block each other, they die. It's a plant. Now, does runoff help that process? I don't know. Okay. I don't think anybody studied that, potential impact.
Specifically, yeah. Very interesting. All right, Damien, maybe there's a research paper out there for someone to look into that. Now, it's kind of like most things in Mother Nature. There's a positive and a negative element to it. So on the one hand, there are a lot of fish that use the seaweed as a nursery area, things like mahi-mahi, jacks, amberjacks. So, it can help to support some of the marine species, in fact, even sea turtles. It provides food for them, some marine birds, crabs, and shrimp. But on the other hand, in abundance, it, does produce this hydrogen sulfide gas, which if it's in a well-ventilated open air area, it's not a big problem. But if it's in more enclosed area, that's why it has that rotten egg kind of smell. It can do things like irritate your sinuses, nose, throat, and eyes. And so, there's people who have asthma, for example, or any sort of breathing illness or hypersensitive to hydrosulfide should be very, very careful not to breathe or inhale it. So, you probably want to stay away from it as well. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, hi. Morning, Sandy. And
morning.
To you. Listening to your guest, he mentioned that there's the possibility of lacking of certain basic elements such as sunlight. In Cayman, 30, 40 years ago, we always had some what we call turtle grass that would surface and splash up on the shores, but never have we seen and to this magnitude for sure, sargassum invading our coastline. So I have a question. And in recent years, there's been efforts, has launched this effort. The United Kingdom has also just approved another similar method in blocking out the sunlight, under the pretense of combating climate change. Now, very, very, very concerning approach when there's no research that would show the immediate or medium or long-term effects of this. So my question is, and your dear guest said he has no idea, but I posed this to him. Could there be any potential direct or indirect correlation to the effects of people, persons, scientists, governments manipulating the weather in such a way that would cause such an imbalance in other parts of the atmosphere that is not yet recognized? And if second question is it safe for us to do such a manipulation on the world's atmosphere?
All right, thank you. So blocking out the sun, was that the question? Like what can we do?
If I understand correctly, the question is, can blocking the sun induce some unpredictable effects in the atmosphere, which either directly or indirectly impacts the sargassum plant? Is this the question? Well, if that's the question,
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Depending on the scale, I mean, if somebody can really block the sun for the entire tropical Atlantic Ocean, then no plant can survive. If you have a zero light,
yes.
Think, this applies to any plant, not just sargassum. No light, no life. So it depends on the scale. So my understanding is they may be doing some, I'm not familiar with that technique. It's called environmental engineering, to do something to change the environment or change the weather or something. If they are doing experiment or a local experiment to block the sun in a very restricted area, no, that will not impact the sargassum. Simply because of the scale mismatch. Sargassum belt extends from the West Africa to the Gulf, to the Caribbean. That's a huge. Nobody can block even a small portion of the sun within that belt. So the impact is really minimal.
Right. Yes.
Likewise, the impact on the weather or even climate, that's even larger scale, should be also minimum. It all depends on the scale. I mean, if you block the sun around the entire Earth, well, we all die.
Yes, good point.
So the scale of that blocking.
Right. I mean, the sun is necessary for life on this planet in any event.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We've got some other questions. And, sometimes it's good to talk about these things because people might hear of an idea and they don't fully go through to the logical conclusion of what does that mean if you're trying to block the sun and how does it impact other living organisms on Earth. But as you said, that would be impractical and would lead to all of the demise of, everything that requires the sun to live, which is quite a bit. So
yeah, it's a good question for sure.
Yes.
You need to think about, how you do when you do something to one place in the environment, what is the potential impact in the downstream environment? Everything is connected. So I see a question from Domain.
Yeah, Damien, yes, says, so it's always been around and got blown into the Atlantic instead of the Caribbean. So
it's always been around. It means the sargassum is always being around.
Yes.
Yes, it's always been around. Hundreds of thousands of years, since the Columbus first report in the 15th or 16th century of this brown plant in the Sargasso Sea. Well, it's whenever people go to Sargasso Sea, they see this plant. It's been around.
Where is the Sargassum Sea? I've never heard of it before.
Sargasso Sea is the northern part of North Atlantic Ocean. So it's approximately, from 20-degree north to 50-degree north, and 70-degree west to 40-degree west, if you can draw a box. This is the only sea on this planet that has no border. It's surrounded by water, but it's called a Sargasso Sea.
Interesting.
Any other sea, Arabian Sea, the Yellow Sea, they have a land as a border at the border, right? But this Sargasso Sea has no border. You can Google the name, you'll find the place.
Right.
And by the way, that sea, the Sargasso Sea, was named after this plant.
Very interesting. So the sea was named after the plant, not the other way around.
Right, not the other way around. Yeah.
There are people who have questions about what to do with it. So this person says, can we burn the seagrass, to eliminate the problem instead of adding to the dump? So what do we do with this? Some people are saying, can we use it as fertilizer? Is it a good fertilizer?
Well, people have been using this plant as fertilizer for a long time. Even before most people are aware of this problem. So the people in Texas, they simply go to the beach, collect some sargassum on the beach, and clean that with the fresh water, wash off the salt, then chop into pieces and bury in their garden, their backyard, to grow flowers, plants. So yes, that's a typical use of this plant. But there's a new concern about that usage, because arsenic, the toxic metal, has been found in sargassum. I mean, if you bury sargassum in your soil, you may also bury arsenic. But that's just one concern. So yes, using sargassum as a fertilizer is a common practice in many places.
Yes. All right. Tartanium says, nature is giving us plant to use, but our eyes are not open to the use of it. Leave nature alone. But you've just given one reason why, although it's found in nature, not everything that's found in nature is good for you. This is one of those arguments that people have a hard time logically understanding sometimes. But there's poison in nature. There are poisonous plants and shrooms and all sorts of stuff. So you have to know what's in it and how it's best used or sometimes not used, right?
Yeah. So this just like a hurricane, any other phenomenon. Nature works its own way. We just learn, understand how it works, then find the best way to adapt to that, to mitigate the bad impacts. So we are trying not to disturb the nature. For example, I believe in today's today's world, with the modern technology, we can kill a hurricane. If you explode a big bomb in the eye, it may kill a hurricane. But hurricane is one way to move energy from one place to another. If you stop this process, what would happen in other place? Nobody knows. So it's better to leave that alone and just to learn, hurricanes are coming here. We go to the shelter, we prepare. That's what I call mitigation. So we learn how nature works and prepare and adapt to the bad things.
Very good. All right, K-Man 49er says, are there any health risk of swimming in the water where the Sargassum seaweed is located?
If it's a small amount, scattered mats here and there, I don't think it's a big deal. And you find fish, small fish, or perhaps small turtles, it's fun. But if you have a large, thick mat, I would not suggest swimming underneath or around it.
Mhm.
People have reported Vibrio virus, in Sargassum,
Mhm.
but that's just a couple of studies.
Right.
So there's no consensus. So you just use common sense. You see small plants here, there, it's okay. Go have fun with this, but you have to see a large mat. Okay, get
Mhm.
away from it.
Yes. All right. Damien says, does this affect the turtle nesting season with beaches and coastlines full of sargassum? I would imagine it's probably a lot harder for a turtle to swim and come up, right?
Absolutely. So
Mm.
it will have a big impact
Mhm.
on turtle hatchling, and a thick sargassum mat can actually cover the nesting site
Mhm.
completely. So even if there's the turtle, small turtle underneath, it's very hard to get through.
Mm. Wow. That's a great question, Damien, because I hadn't thought about that because, of course, Cayman has a lot of turtle nesting locations alongside our beaches and, very, very important
There
for
are, yeah, there are
species.
many types of potential adverse impact or bad impacts. This is one of them. Others include, large sinking sargassum mats can smother seagrass or corals.
Hmm.
Think about, there are living plants or animals on the ocean floor. Then all of a sudden you have a huge blanket covering that up. They die or they suffer at least. So all depends on the amount. Do
Hmm.
we really have a blanket of sargassum, or we have a sargassum small amount here and there? The latter case is okay, but the former case is not.
Right. So Rachel says, my understanding is that the huge sargassum blooms are triggered by discharge of pollutants from the Amazon and Orinoco River basin, making it way into the Atlantic, then to us in the Caribbean. And that's because of the deforestation, sewage disposal, and chemical processing in Brazil. Is Brazil to blame for this?
Uh, no, I don't blame that.
Yeah.
It could be one of the reasons
Hmm.
to cause a local sargassum bloom. So when the sargassum is in the local area, that is influenced by the river plume, yes, because of the increased nutrients in the plume, sargassum can grow faster. But the
Hmm.
plume is quite restricted to local area. It does not reach far.
Hmm.
In the open ocean, the processes to contribute nutrients to sargassum are the ocean mixing. The surface water mix the deep water with the deep water. That's the ocean mixing. That is driven by wind and ocean circulation. And there is also nutrients from the air. Perhaps the people never heard about that. We have
Hmm.
dust. We have Saharan dust, from Saharan desert. So that dust plume every summer will go through the tropical Atlantic Ocean. And during this transport, some dust particles will be sinking on the ocean. I mean, deposit on the surface ocean. This dust particle provide micronutrients for plants. And there's also smoke, fire smoke. That the smoke ash contain micronutrient. So there are different sources of nutrients, and the river runoff is one of them. And the impact is obvious, but it's restricted to a local region.
Hmm. Now, there's a concept because, of course, everyone is trying to find a way to use it, to help people, as opposed to it becoming such an eyesore and stench on the beaches. And there has been a bit of thought going into this that perhaps we could use it as some sort of fuel. Um, what's the possibilities you think of that being
Yeah.
viable?
Well, this is outside my expertise.
Okay.
So it's whatever I comment on is based on my speculation. So it's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, not a problem. And I appreciate you being forthright in that regard. Jim said yes. If you want to use it as fertilizer, you'd have to wash it, dry it, wash it again, and dry it again. And handling it, even if you were trying to use it as fertilizer, I could imagine the fact that you're having to handle it in the first place could be a concern, right? You'd have to perhaps be cautious how you're handling it, touching it, picking it up, even inhaling, the fumes and stuff would be problematic.
Well, obviously, just like with anything else, there's a cost benefit factor, right?
Yes.
So personally, I have never used sargassum as a fertilizer. So exactly how we do that, I have no idea. I read reports, on how local residents use that as fertilizer, and one of my friends used that, to bury sargassum in his garden. So how, in practice, how exactly you wash that off, what is the cost? I actually don't know, but that's perhaps the most popular way to use the sargassum.
All right. Well, the good doctor, folks, is a very, very busy man. He's taken some time out of his schedule to join us here in the Cold Hard Truth to give us a little bit of insight and information into this humongous sargassum problem that we're going to see now. How long can we expect it to be around for? That's a question a lot of us are wondering.
Well, even if there's a huge amount of sargassum surrounding Cayman, it doesn't mean that sargassum will reach Cayman.
Right.
It depends on wind and the tides and local factors. But some sargassum may be detached from the large mats and eventually reach the beach. And I believe that should have already happened as we speak. And in the coming
this
week,
was taken yesterday.
That's Cayman. Okay, yes.
Yes, this is Cayman here on South Sound.
Right. When I say I believe it should have already happened, that's according to our satellite imagery. So Cayman Island is right now surrounded by sargassum. And so in the next weeks or even next 2 or 3 months, you will see continuous sargassum beaching.
Yes. Wow.
But perhaps not every day. When I say continuous, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, you have a high tides, to wash sargassum to the beach. So this year is pretty bad for many Caribbean nations and islands.
All right. Cleaning it up. Governments, Mr. Edwin says, is this gentleman hired by the Cayman Islands government, thinking perhaps that you should be? What is the best way to clean this up? Because, of course, we rely on tourism and our beaches as a source of income. I'm having it just sit there and rot and, it could take months, I suppose, to go away. What is the best method of cleanup?
Well, I have not cleaned sargassum from the beach. So the managers have more experience as to, I live in Florida. So I'm a resident in Florida, United States. Okay. I'm not local. So people rented or they bought equipment to clean sargassum from the beach. I would say if it's a popular beach, you have to clean it before it gets rotten, to protect your tourism. Right? But if it's a remote beach, nobody goes there. To save cost, just let sargassum sit on the beach and get rotten and decay and washed by tides away. Let the nature takes care of this course. If it's a remote, not very people or nobody goes there. Why bother? Unless on that beach there are a lot of turtle nesting, so there's a protected area. Of course, you want to take care of that.
Yes.
So, what is the best equipment? Well, you can Google online. You can hire or rent some equipment to clean. And in this regard, the timely information is important. If you rent the equipment too early, you're wasting money. You rent equipment too late, you have no time.
Yes. Someone says to burn it. Is burning a healthy option, you think? Because that's putting all those chemicals in the air.
I would not say that will pollute the atmosphere, right? I would not to burn plants, to remove. And right now, the most cost-effective way, I think, is to just put it in landfill, bury it.
Yeah.
I have seen tractors, full with a full load of sargassum, run into a landfill and just dump it and put over there, bury it.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, Dr. Hugh, let me say on behalf of the entire CMR team this morning, I'm going to extend our heartfelt thanks for you joining us on today's show to discuss, obviously, a pressing issue for us of sargassum blooms. Your insights into the dynamics of the Great Atlantic Sargassum Belt and the innovative monitoring techniques have really, really assisted us this morning. Food for thought for sure. And we, of course, want to thank you. USF folks, one of the leading universities, definitely in South Florida, and I would say all over the United States of America for sure, continuing to produce high-level professors like Dr. Hugh here, who joined us this morning. So we certainly thank you. And we also want to thank you for your dedication to, the Optical Oceanography Lab, which really helps to advance research in protecting one of our most vital resources, which is the vast ocean. So there's so much out there that we're still learning all the time about the ocean, the depths of the ocean. And so I think anything related to, understanding it better for the average person is certainly very, very important. So thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks. All right, folks. So again, some wonderful insight there and definitely some things to think about. Rachel says, thanks for the very interesting presentation. And it's good because, sometimes we think, yes, it's a good idea to burn it. It's a good idea to use it as fertilizer. Do this, do this, do this. Block out the sun. That's a great idea. And we haven't thought about the full implications of stuff like that. That's why experts are important. Go check him out. You can check him out at USF. He's got a world of experience, I can tell you, that has led him to this position of being, let me share the link here, faculty here. And, we have to protect our oceans as much as we possibly can, because God knows without it, I don't think any of us would really be alive. But if you'd like to learn more about this professor and what he does at USF, there's the link. Go check it out. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, pretty cool. King Robbie, good morning to you. Yes, so good to see you. Plant-Based Studio says, as far as plants go, proceed with caution. I know many people that have killed their gardens this way by using this as fertilizer. Whoa. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Got to be careful. It does have, like you said, once it starts to stench, that's the sulfide, releasing. So, Good morning, V the Money. Yes, you missed a lot. Hit that rewind button after the show. Mr. Amelia says, I remember one year when I was camping and it came in at Smith Cove. We took it out and we filled the garbage bins and garbage bags so that the kids could swim. Jim says, thank you for covering this. You're most welcome. Damien says, thank you. Let's call Reina and get a big, big umbrella. Okay. To be honest, we can't stop Mother Nature, says Gabby. Yeah, like he said, we have to kind of figure out how to live with it. Sometimes there are things that you can do to mitigate it. Thank goodness it's not year round. That's a good thing. So I think that we are looking at, in terms of the influx of it, let me just have a look at my notes here now. Where did I see this? Was it on the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration page? But I think it's going to, oh my gosh, let's talk about this year's bloom because this is so interesting. This year's bloom is considered a mega bloom. So Florida and the Caribbean. Sargassum season runs from April until August, with June and July being the peak months. And they're saying that this year's bloom has already set a record. The previous record, which was June of 2022, this one is 40% bigger. And it's still growing. The annual bloom stretches over 5,500 miles of ocean between Africa and the Caribbean and weighs an estimated 31 million tons. So, you know, it is a beneficial resource of the North Atlantic, and then it becomes harmful algae blooms for us. But, you know, it's almost like you got to just learn how to live with it. All right. So very, very interesting information. They actually have a map where they try to look at things like ocean temperature. So, you know, those of you who are like, oh, I don't care about global warming, I don't care about the environment, like it has a knock-on effect on every element of our lives. So even in relation to this, increase in ocean temperature due to climate change is one of the reasons for such a large bloom. Yeah. So we've had record-breaking high water temperatures in the Atlantic, and especially around Florida, and obviously us as well, in recent years. And this is creating what is considered an ideal condition for the seaweed to thrive. And excess nitrogen in the water from the burning of fossil fuels or dust from the Sahara is also believed to be one of the forces behind the supercharged bloom that we're seeing this year. So the scientists do use satellites to track the seaweed and issue warnings if necessary. And we have the Caracos Sargassum map, which shows the bulk of the bloom is currently east of Puerto Rico. But it has already been spotted along Florida's Atlantic coast. And of course, now we see it here. Like I said, just last week, it wasn't here yet, but I saw, and I actually took some video of it when I was in Cayman Brac. I saw bits of it out there starting to float already. And I said, oh gosh, it's coming for us. Yes, honey child. Let me see if I can find any of my videos that I took last week, and I'll show you guys. I was like, here it comes. Here comes that sargassum. It's on its way. And you could see like little pieces, like, you know, together, but floating out there. Let me go back to my Brac videos and see if I can find it. Yes. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, honey chill? Let me see here now. Sargassum. Yes. Okay. Oh, by the way, guess what I saw in Cayman Brac? I gotta share these pictures with you guys. Hold on. Oh my gosh, I saw the most beautiful thing. Hold on. Where's my sargassum video? I'm trying to find it. Maybe I took a picture. Hold on. But I saw, wait for it. OMG. Hold on. Let me show you Mother Nature. Everywhere you go, look at this little creature. Wait a minute. I'm coming. Yes, look at this. I even got a video. Hold on, let me see if I can download the video. Okay, have a look at this. Look at this creature that I saw. Looking all handsome once he stays outside. One of the Cayman Brac rock lizards, or rock iguanas, my apologies. Wow, look at him. Looking all majestic and buffed up. Boy, they look so muscular. Oh, I'd hate for one of them to jump on you with those claws and everything. But yeah, he was just sitting there minding his own business. And so I was like, well, if he's going to mind his own business, I'll just zoom in, not getting too close. I will zoom in and say, hello, sir, and continue to mind my own business as well. I know. Listen, Gigi was like, is he alive? He's not even moving. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning.
I hear that you're the queen of Cayman Brac now.
Oh, my goodness. I would dare not take that title from you know who. Oh my goodness.
I just heard you talking about the sargassum, the weed or whatever. I know in the past I made so many mistakes putting it in my garden and it marked everything.
Oh my gosh.
But I've been very, very successful in taking this. Make sure you soak the salt, the sargassum, in a lot of water to get the salt out, and then you take and put the sargassum weed. Dig a little trench around it, around the big plants, not your vegetables and stuff, and you put the sargassum weed around the big plants, the coconut trees, like your big guava trees. Anything that is full grown, that is bearing, and covered it back. And I find it, my coconut trees are now producing a lot of good coconut water or coconuts. So,
okay.
But don't put them around. Do not put them in your garden with vegetables. It is going to burn everything. And I've learned it through the hard way.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, my dear. Have a good one.
Okay, same to you.
All right, my dear. Yeah, I think you just got to be careful handling it, obviously. What a thing. All right, so there he is. Look at that majestic creature, rock lizard, rock iguana, sorry. And these are, I believe, completely indigenous to Cayman Brac, right? They're not found here, for sure. Just like the blue iguanas are indigenous to us. So he was there minding his own business, and I got a little video footage of him. Check this out.
Yes, Gigi. Mom, I thought you said it's fake because
She thought, what did she say? She thought I said it was fake because it was a rock. I'm like, no, it's called a rock.
you said it's fake because it's a rock.
You hear her little voice. She's like, I thought you said it's fake because it's a rock. I'm like, no, I didn't say that. It's just called a rock lizard. Yes. I was like, don't scare him off. Let him just sit there. And he didn't really move. And we took a few pictures and video. Is he alive? She's like, is he alive? And we just left him alone, and he was perfectly fine. Yep. Kids are so interesting. Because I said he's a rock lizard. She's like, I thought he was fake. I'm like, no, I never said he was fake. Oh my goodness. They're so interested in these things though. All right, here's another. I don't know if you guys can see. Hold on. If you zoom in on this picture, you can see the sargassum out there. Yes, we saw bits of it actually floating out there. And I was like, oh boy, it's coming in. It's coming in. It's coming for us. You could see it out last week. I hadn't quite made it to shore yet. All right. Someone said there are subspecies of those found in Cuba. Thank you so much for that. Subspecies. V the Money Man says, as a Caymanian, I'm ashamed of not visiting the sister islands. Well, get on it. I mean, it's just a half an hour plane ride away. So why not? We took the farm tour. By the way, big shout out to the Dart property in Cayman Brac. I'm not going to pronounce the name. I don't even know how it's properly pronounced. But let me tell you something. We did a nice farm tour while I was there. And we saw some of the seasonal things that they are growing. And it was very, very interesting. They had some beautiful peppers and stuff. We actually decided this time to stay at that property. You know, we stay at different properties when we go to Cayman Brac. One of these days, we're going to retire Honey Chow. And we're going to stay at, we're going to have our own place, our own little cottage or something. But let me show you guys some of the beautiful things that they're growing there. And they, you know, cut up some of the fruits and allow you to enjoy some of the seasonal fruits on the farm if you take the farm tour. It is, how many acres? Did the guy say 20 acres? I kind of think that that's what it is. It's huge. It's a big farm. And they actually have a farmer's market. So big shout out to the DART organization. They have a farmer's market there on, I want to say Mondays or Tuesdays. And so the local residents there in Cayman Brac can actually go to the farm and enjoy getting some of the the different vegetables. And for example, they produce over 250 eggs a day. And so what they do with that is they allow the residents there in Cayman Brac to purchase the eggs at like 50% of what the grocery stores are selling them for. So you can get them at a significantly, and you guys know how expensive eggs are at the moment, you can get them at a significantly reduced rate. So that's fantastic. I'm going to just show you guys some of the pictures here. Give me 1 second. From when we did our farm tour. It's very nice. So let's see here. They had all kind of mangoes, and they said, you know, some things are seasonal, depends on the season. And Cayman Brac is very, very dry. So certain things they actually, let's see here if I can show you guys this. Yeah, certain things they actually can't have all year round. It just depends on what it is. But I tell you what, these were some of the items that were being sold at the farmers market there. So I'm going to share some of these with you because they had like peppers. They had the biggest okras I have ever seen. Now, a lot of people don't like okra, but you can get very, very creative with okra. My aunt used to use it all the time in her cooking. So these are the remnants of the farmers market, which I think was on the Tuesday or the Monday. I can't remember which day he said. But let me just show you now. They've got lots of lime trees. And so, you know, they can do a lot with that as well. Okay, check this out. I'll show you guys some of the pictures from the Cayman Brac trip. Look at those beautiful peppers. Look at that. Gorgeous, huh? And so, you know, anyone in the Brac can go there to the farmers market and purchase. So this is some of the stuff they had left over from this past week's farmers market. So they've got all kind of greens, and the okras are there. I'm going to show you a close up of the basket of okras because they were big. Look at that. I was like, wow. If you love yourself an okra infused dish, there you go. Absolutely gorgeous. And we had a fantastic time. Look at these peppers. Look at that. Very, very nice. And so we toured, it was kind of hot, and then the little trolley that can take you through the farm was having a tire problem or something. You know, it's hard to source certain things in the Brac quickly. But we did, you know, sit down, and we had a variety of different fruits that they had. Let me check my other phone because I think this is the phone that has some of the photos and stuff. So it was nice to enjoy some of that for sure. And, you know, I think it's great that they have so many chickens and they're producing eggs for the community to purchase at a significantly lower price point. So we had papaya. He was cutting up all sorts of beautiful stuff for us. Fresh tomatoes. Now, there was one thing, I'm going to show you guys a plate here. There was one thing that he was saying, oh, this is the Otahiti. Let me try and get the name right. This is the Otahiti apple. And my husband looked at it and he said, oh, no, it's not. Because, you know, Marlon's a farmer and, you know, in his heart, he's from St. Mary, Honeyshell, and they are a farming community. And so when the guy said, oh, this is an Otahiti apple, my husband said, no. He said, that's kind of some kind of hybrid apple, but that's not an Ot. And it was really a lot smaller. So Marlon said, no, honey, chill. That's not what that is. So the guy's like, oh, I thought this was, and he said, nope. He said, it looks similar, but that's not what it is. I forget what Marlon thought it was, but he said it could be a hybrid of some sort. So the guy was cutting up fresh stuff for us. It was really quite nice. Everybody gets it. I didn't really partake of the fruit because I am watching my sugar intake, which includes even natural sugars. But yeah, it was a good time. All right, let me show you some more things. But yes, if it comes from Jamaica, you're not going to fool Marlon with it. He's like, that's not what that is. All right, let me see here. So take a trip to the Sister Islands, folks. You know, don't be ashamed that you haven't been. You still got time to go. I have never overnighted in Little Cayman. I have been to Little Cayman a few times, but I've actually never overnighted there. So again, our sister islands are such a treasure trove. And I think it's so amazing how you can literally see the most beautiful sunsets in Cayman Brac. And right there, you can also see Little Cayman right from the Brac. I'm like, oh my God, it's right there. It's that close. If you're motivated, you could probably swim from one to the next. So have a look at some of these amazing fruits. They pick stuff for us and cut it open. They had, what's this other fruit called? Oh gosh, I can't remember. They had fresh lime. What's the one called that gives you, when you eat it and then you eat anything after that's sour, it makes it taste like it's sweet. What is that called again? It's some sort of like it gives this fakeness of, help me out here, folks. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Oh, I know it when I see it. Irvlin said it's wax apple. The smaller okras are better tasting, says Jim. Oh, yeah? Tartarian says, not lie. I love an okra. You do? What do you eat okra with? But see, they had like mangoes here with salt, and I was like, those are not the ones I eat with salt. But anyway, fresh papaya. Marlon said the papaya was amazing. So see the little apple right next to it? That's what he was saying was the Otahiti. And Marlon's like, no. We had fresh limes. Here's a beautiful lime tree. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And as hot as it is and as dry as it is in Cayman Brac, there are things there that are obviously surviving just fine. And then I have some video footage. Let me show you guys some video footage of him cutting up some of the fruits and stuff for us. So, Otahiti. What do you call it? Where the Philippines? What do you guys call it?
We call it makopa.
Makopa?
Yes.
My heartburn.
Yeah, but
the size is bigger than that.
yeah. We have kiwi.
And it's more reddish.
Okay, big and red.
Yeah.
This one is
This one is just still medium ripe. So, and
that's like a crossbreed.
So look at
This looks like
that's
a crossbreed between the rose apple and the
Otahiti apple. Yes. Or they call it also Jamaican apple, or Java or wax apple.
yeah. Marlon said that's not the Jamaican apple. All right, hold on. We got some more footage here. Yeah, we had pomegranate. We had all sorts of really good stuff. It was a good tour. Here's another video of him. Look at that. Beautiful.
40 minutes? 30 to 45 minutes.
Look at that.
I think a papaya.
A papaya was gorgeous.
A papaya on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So papaya is nice also. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Very nice and sweet, I heard.
Digest as well.
What happened?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm.
Got a juice. Sour.
So,
Oh, I'm not trying nothing again.
it's good for the kids to try these things as well.
And papayas here they are growing everywhere because when birds eating them, they spread the seeds everywhere also. So you can see here in the farm everywhere.
You trying milkberry? Don't eat the seed. Just eat the skin and the flesh.
Eat the skin?
Oh,
It's weird.
makes the pomegranate taste nice, I know.
Yeah.
Eat the whole thing. We spit out the seed.
So a miracle berry, it will only affect to any food.
Yes, it's very, very beautiful. I mean, it's delicious. Jim says Uncle Dart is easily able to afford the water bill to keep his farm well watered. Well, it takes water, it takes people, lots of resources obviously involved in farming. Good morning, Miss Brenda. She said the soil in Cayman Brac is similar to the rich soil in Jamaica. That's why their produce and fauna are superior to what we grow in Grand Cayman. Well, when we went down by the lighthouse, there was a lot of it's like cactus, like things that can live easily in the drier climates. We saw a lot of those there as well. So, you know, like we said, Mother Nature will certainly make adjustments and do what it has to do. So some really beautiful pictures. Oh yeah, this was the video I have on this other phone of the sargassum. You can kind of see it. Hold on, let me see if I can show you guys these as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's nice to see the amount of farming that they're able to do there and somewhat sustain themselves. But even the ground, I mean, it looks fertile, but it was very, very dry. And so they were talking to us about, you know, the challenges. Everybody has challenges if you're a farmer, I think. And even this farm is no exception. So look at this. They have different plants going at any time. And these guys are working out in the hot sun. My hat's off to you, honey chill, because the farming life is not for me. No siree. Honey chill. That heat, I was like, oh my God. 10 minutes outside, I was ready to run back in. Now look at this. This is me capturing some of the sargassum. Look, see there? There it is. It hadn't come in yet. I was like, oh, it's coming. All trails of it out there. I'm like, oh boy, it's coming for us. So said, so done. Less than a week later. So big shout out to the people from the BRAC. I got to see Miss Valda. Thank you, Miss Valda, for my coconut dinner. Delicioso. She's so amazing. Got a wonderful opportunity to sit down and interview her. So I really, really enjoyed it. I'll put up some of the footage on social media and stuff so that hopefully you guys can enjoy the trip as much as I did. It was a lot of fun. I wish it could have been longer, but had to get back to work because people like Mr. Amelia is going to fire me. She's like, where are you? I said, oh Lord, let me hurry up and get back. So yes, had a really good time. By the way, big shout out to TCCP. They had their Baden Town thank you event this weekend. I'm going to put that video up earlier as well. I was enjoying, I got to share this one with you guys. I was enjoying some of the festivities, and they had the fish and fritters, which last time I didn't get any. So this time I said, y'all not gonna make me miss my fish and fritters this time. I'm going straight there first. I didn't get anything else. I just got fish and fritters, but that's all I wanted. So that worked out for family event. Very, very nice. So I'll show you that as well. So somebody says miracle fruit. Yes, that's what makes things. So have you guys tried this before? You see the little miracle fruit? I forget what the proper name of it is, but into it, and he said don't eat that first because he wanted us to try you know, some of the other fruits first. But the idea with miracle fruit is it's actually properly called, oh Lord, nobody can pronounce this. What is it? Sinis palum dulcificum. Okay, then. Can we get a dictionary? We need a dictionary. Hold on. Dictionary.com needs to help us pronounce this one because this is one big word. Native to tropical Africa. It's known for its berry that, when eaten, causes sour foods such as lemons and limes to taste sweet. All right, let's see if we can get it pronunciation. Because child, I'm like, huh? Pronunciation. Hold on. Okay, let's see how to pronounce. Let's listen to it. Oh, we need a. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Sensisalum dulfa who? Hold on. Sensipalum dulcificum. Yes, Sensipalum dulcificum. There you go. Learn how to pronounce a new word today, new phrase. All right, so we just call it miracle fruit. That's what we're gonna call it. And so yeah, you eat that first, and then anything sour that you eat afterwards tastes sweet. And so they've actually said that our cousin's a nurse. She just finished her master's in nursing, and they were talking about how they're starting to use it even with people who are diabetics to kind of fool their taste buds into thinking they're having something sweet so that they can enjoy it. I'm like, that's interesting. So I don't know exactly how it does what it does, but it is very, very interesting. But yes, you have that first, and then once you have had that, anything that's a sour, like lemons, limes, anything consumed within about 30 minutes or so, it makes it taste like it's sweet. And it's they said the effect is due to the miraculum, which is a taste modifier, and it's like a hycoprotein extracted from the fruit and the berry, also known as a miracle fruit, was documented by explorer way back in 1725 when he did an excursion to native West Africa. So the berry itself actually has a very low sugar content and a mildly sweet tang, but it contains this molecule, this glycoprotein molecule, with some tailing carbohydrate chains. And so that really is what allows you to then somehow the molecule binds to the taste buds, the tongue's taste buds, and it actually causes sour food to taste sweet. At neutral pH, it binds and blocks the receptors, but at low pH, resulting from ingestion of sour foods, it binds the proteins and becomes able to activate the sweet receptors. It's the most interesting thing ever. So you have the perception of sweet taste. And the effect lasts until the protein is washed away by saliva, which is normally up to about 30 minutes. Try it if you've never tried it before. Go to the store. They have them here. Get some miracle fruit, miracle berry, and try it. Have it and then have something sour, and you'll see. It is so weird. Like the kids were blown away. They're like, oh, now put a lemon in your mouth. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's sweet. It's so cool. Pretty interesting. Jim says it's not an easy life, farming that is. Thank you, Jim. Jim has a local farm, so he definitely knows. And Ms. Rumelia says that our local farmers should be supported. Jim, put your farming details down there so that, yes, people can contact you. He's got eggs, and he sends out a weekly list of things that are, again, a lot of these things are seasonal, obviously. And so he sends out a farm list every single week of all the amazing things that you can get. I'm trying to have a quick little look here, Jim, at the list. Oh gosh, where's the list? You might have to tell us what's seasonal right now, but they do all sorts of like different lettuces, all sorts of great stuff. So check it out. And fresh eggs. He delivered some fresh eggs to me just last week. Thank you. Yep. Let me just see what else we got here. Okay, so some questions have been sent through to the RCIPS about their deployment of officers to Anguilla. And the overriding question is, didn't the commissioner just say that we have a shortage of officers and we've got unsolved crime and all this sort of stuff? Why are we sending and deploying people overseas? We've asked the question. Let's see what we get back in terms of a response. Tartarian says every hotel should be compelled to plant fruit trees instead of palm trees. That should be a law. Okay. King Robbie says the island is very fruitful and I love natural produce. Wonderful. The seeds are good to eat and clean your digestive tract. Is that the papaya seeds? Okay. Gabe says, on my flight from New York last week, Thursday, I could see tons of it heading your way. DEH, prepare. It's a lot. Oh, you can see it all the way up there in the sky. That's sargassum. Oh my goodness. All right. Jim reminds us that the Cayman Bay Farmers Market is held today, and Cricket Field Market Mondays through Saturdays. We need your support more than you know. Absolutely, local farmers. And I have been going to the one at, I don't often get to Cayman Bay during the week for sure, but I've definitely, tried to go to the regular farmers market. This time of year, they've got my mangoes. By the way, Miss Lily has got some plums for me. If you guys know, this time of year, I indulge in my turn mangoes. Don't tell the doctor. With salt and pepper. Sometimes I throw in vinegar, but not often. I just do seasoned salt and pepper. And I love me a good local mango. Not that I don't like East Indian and this one and that one. No. Just give me my little Cayman mangoes. And I'm in hog heaven. So thanks to all of my amazing neighbors who are always hooking me up. I think Marlon claims I now have a local mango tree that has a few mangoes on it. So I'm going to try it out this week and see if that's the one that I wanted. If not, I'm like, listen, you better get rid of that mango because I've got too many other mango trees around me right now. I need one local mango tree in my yard. And of course, I love plums as well. So Miss Lily has got some plums. I need to get those from her today. And yeah, she's got plums for sale. So contact Miss Lily as well. Stay Focused said, I had a tree years ago and you should do a segment on this. It's definitely a miracle plant. Well, I mean, what it does to you is yeah, it's amazing. All right. Yes. Jim's company there, Cayman Farm and Garden. Patrick Panton, business partner, can hook you up. So look them up, Cayman Farm and Garden. Irvin says, I only buy vegetables from the farmer's market because the ones from the supermarket, as you take it away, it starts to decay, even though it's in the fridge. Oh, Celine says I'm becoming a little bit blurry. Uh-oh. All right, check out the farmer's market today at Cayman Bay from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Yes, thank you. Irvin says that in Spain, they plant olives and orange trees, but the orange is very sour. Roar says no nam duck either. Nope. I don't like, well, if I'm desperate enough, I'll get the big mango and do salt and pepper. But my favorite, like, I'm in it to win it, is just the regular local mango. I don't really, you see, I don't eat mangoes ripe. So to me, you guys are into, the nam duck is sweet. And I'm like, I don't eat it ripe. So I don't really care about all that. I just want the best turned mango. And to me, that's the local one. Yes. Miss Brenda says vinegar is good for weight loss. It sure is. And it's actually good for also controlling your glucose levels. So I have this week started my vinegar regimen. I'm putting a little tablespoon of vinegar in a big glass of water. That's why the glasses are oversized, because you've got to be careful with it now because you got teeth enamel that, wouldn't appreciate the vinegar. And I'm here sipping vinegar water. Doesn't really taste good, but, and you know what, Jim? It doesn't matter the type of vinegar. We always told that, it's apple cider vinegar. It doesn't actually matter what type of vinegar you use. It'll all help you control that glucose level. God of Egypt, good morning. Good morning. How are you? Irvin wants some East Indian mangoes. Yes, I don't think they're ready yet. So if you're looking for them to ripen, they take a little bit longer. So I don't believe they're quite ready. I'll check the tree because, I'm not going to eat them. I know Miss Stacy, she'll be juicing them and all kind of stuff from Ireland, but I don't really eat them. So a lot of times they're just falling off the tree, honey child. My neighbor had so many this year on her tree that the tree was actually, the mangoes were on the ground. She had to take sticks and prop it up. I was like, wow, that tree's loaded. I think it might need a little bit of pruning. Am I blurry? Okay, hold on. Let me just do a quick little refresh. Let's play a little song or something while I try to just refresh my screen. Normally that's internet based. And if I do a little refresh, it'll go away. Hold on.
For the past 58 years, CUC has strived to be more than just an electricity provider. We have sought to be a foundational company. We give back to our community, and with the hard work and dedication of our employees, we have built and maintained one of the safest and most reliable electricity grids in the region. As we all look to the future, we at CUC want the Grand Cayman community to have confidence that our commitment to you will continue. Join us as we continue this journey together at empoweringcayman.com.
Right, folks, hopefully that's better. You can let me know. Let's see. Looking at my other screen there. Is that any better? Hopefully it looks better. All right. Miss Ann says only eat fruit and vegetables in season. Sarah CT helped me with my eczema. Hated the taste though. Oh. Yes. Okay. That's what I miss about home, those nice mangoes, says Delcy. But shouldn't Florida have a lot of this similar, like a lot of similar mangoes to Cayman? I mean, probably not exact, but I'm sure because our climates are very much the same, tropical climates, they probably can grow a lot of similar mangoes that we do as well. But, you know, unless you go into like the farming areas of Florida, I think that unfortunately a lot of people just don't have those trees in their yards anymore, which is unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. All right, I just see a story that just hit the headline. Don't forget me when your East Indian mangoes are ripe. I'll try to get you some. Yes, papaya seeds are good for digestive problems. So do you just eat the seeds by themselves? Or, I don't know. Okay. I missed the earlier part of your show, Read the Rock Iguana. Please send me a screenshot of the scene and the large jug and where it's located. You mean a screenshot of the rock iguana? Okay. All right, let me see here. Okay. The seaweed was like, here in Cayman, we always use that seaweed. In fact, that's what we used to help save our animals, the cows and donkeys, from mosquitoes. And at times we add it to our smoke pans to keep mosquitoes away. That seaweed was like our mosquito coil. Well, I believe it. It'll definitely kill them. All right, so I'm so excited. Let me give you guys a little bit of an update. We're making some amazing progress on our CMR TV journey. So we've got people committed to doing a variety of different shows. Once we have the full show lineup, I will let you guys know. Hopefully, launch date is going to coincide with our 8th anniversary coming up on June the 29th, which is a weekend. So we'll do it for June the 30th. But some amazing people coming on board to do amazing shows. I'm so excited. We had a good team meeting this weekend. We're having tech meetings. We're having all sorts of meetings to really make sure that people are producing content that you're going to love. And if you are a content creator, if you want to be a content creator, please reach out, because the more the merrier. This is all about building out our CMR community and bringing you, the viewing audience, as much engaging and diverse content as possible. And I must say, the vast majority of our content people are Caymanians, which I absolutely love, but we welcome anybody. We're going to have a Filipino show. We have a Caymanian Honduran who's going to be doing entertainment. We have a couple Americans with Caribbean connections. And there's a guy who we got a meeting on Friday. He's a doctor, so-and-so, trained clinical psychologist. And we might be able to get him to do a show where you can call in and ask questions. So I love that. I've always wanted to do like an after dark, not necessarily me personally, but somebody do an after dark show. You know, when the kids are going to bed, it's like 10 o'clock at night and you want to hear like relationship questions. You know, that's when y'all should be calling in. Y'all be calling me in the middle of the day about your cheating husbands and this and that. I'm like, don't call me in the day. Call that 10 o'clock show. Who wants to do that show? We need a host for that show where they call in and ask you advice and tell you, well, he's been, you know, sleeping with the nanny. What do I do? Fire the nanny. That's easy advice. And fire the husband too. Get rid of him. So yeah, we're pulling it together. We're talking to some of the churches to have church services on Sunday. So it's going to be really fantastic. I'm so happy. Don't send the iguana. They want to kill it. Oh, no. Not this gentleman. He's like 80 something years old. I think he just wants to see it. The sour orange in Spain is the same sour orange that we have here. We call it Seville orange. And that is because it comes from Seville, Spain. Oh, there you go, Marjorie. Learn something every day. I would do the After Dark show. I'll make it funny. Well, if you're serious, I mean, relationship advice sometimes can be funny, sometimes not. Reach out. How about an undercover customer service experience at different businesses? Yeah, that's kind of hard though. I mean, it's hard to do that kind of a show. Depends on who it is, because after a while, people are going to figure out who's the secret shopper, you know, but restaurant reviews, that's another awesome show. Pat likes that idea. She's like, awesome idea, Sandy. Remelia said, kids don't sleep early. Miss Remelia, listen now. I can't fool with you, you know. Put them children to bed or don't make them listen to the radio. Cha, what are they doing on social media at 10 o'clock at night? What kind of kids y'all raising that be up at 10 o'clock at night? Tell them to go to their beds. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all what Aunt Lotta used to tell me. You don't have to sleep, but you're going to be in your bed with your head on that pillow. If you can manage once you're lying down in bed to stay up until midnight, that's your business. You're going to feel it tomorrow morning when you got to get up early and go to school. Y'all need to stop these kids from, they're the ones running the show. They're running circuits around y'all. They're not going to sleep early. 8 o'clock, you better be in your bed. And I don't care if you're sleeping, you better be in the bed. And the funny thing is about it, Miss Amelia, once your head hits that pillow, there's only so much sleep you can fight as a kid. After a while, your eyes start to get heavy and you start to doze off in la la land. So as parents, you just got to be consistent. They don't tell you at 10 o'clock that they're not getting in bed. No. 7:30, from 7 o'clock, you make them start to wind down, have their bath, because, you know, the bath helps them to feel nice and fresh but comfortable. Put some, you know what you can put in the bath to make them sleepy too? There's the, oh gosh, not the Epsom bath, but the, what's the essence? Oh gosh. There's one that like relaxes you, makes you nice, and they even put it in the baby, I'll have to look it up. They even put it like in the baby bath stuff as well. Lavender. So yes, thank you, Jerry. Lavender is very, very relaxing, honey child. You just put some lavender bath thing in their bath, get babies ready. This lavender scent and everything. Yes, it relaxes them and knocks them right out. They'll just sleep like a baby. So ask Cece. No, I'm not asking none of y'all, because I'm telling you, I got one of my own, and you get them on a routine. 7:30, go brush your teeth from now, because when 8 o'clock comes around, you got to be in bed, okay? With your head on that pillow. And I know how kids are. They go lie down. They want to have conversations with you, which is a great opportunity to talk to kids. You know, sit down and lie down in bed with them and talk to them, because all of a sudden they want to tell you about the whole day. They had all the afternoon after school, but now they're like, oh, trying to fight the sleep. No problem, but you can be fighting it in your bed. You're not going to be up, out, and about and all over the place. So yes, put some lavender in their bath for them. V the Money says, I'm an older gents, and the younger gents and Generation Alpha are out of control nowadays. Well, you know, it's the parents, I think, that are making them feel like they're running the show and making them feel that they're out of control. They're not out of control. They're doing what kids have always done from day one. Test the boundaries, push the boundaries. They're going to do it if you let them. But you just got to put your foot down in a firm but loving way, and they'll be just fine. Oh, the other show, anybody loves to shop other than me? I'm looking for someone who wants to do like product reviews and stuff. Here's one that's really good. Dr. Teal's. I use a lot of Dr. Teal's products. Do you guys use these? Dr. Teal makes a lot of Epsom salts. Like they have one for kids that you can put in their bath as well. And that's also very relaxing. And a lot of the bath and body moisture oils, they have the Epsom salt for the foot soaks and stuff. But this one is eucalyptus and spearmint essential oils, and it has the jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, and aloe vera. And it smells really nice, let me tell you. I think it's the eucalyptus I'm smelling. Oh, it smells delicious. And so, you know, I have very dry skin, so I tend to do oils and thicker lotions on my skin and stuff. So this is great. Anybody wants to do a product review show? I actually want to do one, but I need to partner with some of the local stores to be able to do that because I need product. And then I review it and tell you guys whether it's worth you buying it or not. Lots of fun stuff coming your way. Anthony says, you're not thinking outside the box, Sandy, and the perfect second show would be named Where Are They Now? Which would feature all those last bad actor potential political candidates. What are your thoughts? That would probably be just like 2 episodes. Where are they now? Where's McKeever Bush now? Being salty in West Bay West. Still upset that he lost the election. He no longer has a driver that he's paying $4,000 or $5,000 a month of our money. Oh, you know he is pissed off. Child safeguarding and effective parenting would be great weekly shows as well. Well, wait for it, Miss Pat. It's coming. I have a whole list. Hold on here now. Where is my, all right, we're not going to do it now. I'm going to run down another day and I'm going to tell you the shows that we have. A show for expats for Cayman and Caymanians. A show on expats for Cayman and Caymanians. How about a show on Cayman for expats? I mean, what do we have to know about expats? I mean, we're going to have the Filipino show, so we'll learn more about them. Jamaica is going to have a voice in this. We have a guy from Jamaica who's going to be doing a Jamaica show. But anybody can do a show, Jim. You know, I'm not trying to divide people. Like any kind of show that you want to do, step up. Yes, I like it. Because I think the more that we bridge the divide amongst us, probably the better. But this is the Cayman Islands, so make no 2 bones about it. Caymanians come first. So a lot of it's going to be about Caymanians and Caymanian voices and Caymanians doing the shows, but anybody can step up. Oh, expats for Cayman. I'm not sure I'm following the concept. Expats for Cayman, like in support of Cayman and for Caymanians. Well, everybody should be for Caymanians. Like I said, this is the Cayman Islands. I mean, but step up with the show idea. Message me. Maybe you could host it, Jim. I mean, I think it's good. V the Money says, thank the Lord McKeever is out of office. I celebrated. Well, y'all know I had a shot of something. Can't even remember what it was now, but yes, he's out of there and we got to keep him out. Big shout out to Miss Julie. She's out there doing her thing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Yes, honey, chill. Count me in the After Dark show. You want to do it? Ooh, freaky. It's hard to be mean to somebody you know. Depends on if you like them. You might know somebody and not like them. But yeah. Oh, I have your proposal ready. So a lot of you are like, Sandy, we need to do this. We want to advertise. And I know you guys, some of y'all have been chasing me. And I'm like, hold off, because when the new platforms come online, you're going to get even more bang for your money. So now I've got proposals together. I'm organizing stuff. I'm meeting with a lot of people this week. I've got content creators meetings. We got another one on board yesterday, somebody else to do the book club because I'm not going to have time. So I'm super excited about that. We're going to have like a Money Matters show. Oh my God. CMR TV is going to be off the chain. Somebody said, I see those few days did good for you. Yes, I am on it. Few days of rest. Amen and hallelujah. Somebody just said I was helping them with their legal aid application. They said I got it approved. They first turned them down until I sent them a letter. Did a little cover letter for them. They said, thank you, I got it approved. No good deed goes without God's blessings. Good blessings from God. I cannot thank you enough. Out of many things, out of many, there's only one Sandra for all. 1,000 times thanks. I'll keep you updated. Oh, bless you. I'm so happy I could help. And I'm sorry it took me so long because sometimes, people need my help. And honey, child, I'm pulled in a lot of different directions, and it's not for lack of wanting to help. It's just the time, the time to sit down and write a letter and pull things together and get all the bits and pieces. But I'm so glad it got approved because yes, now you can sort out that legal matter properly. Yep. All right. Are you doing a local cooking segment? Yes. Local arts and crafts, local history. It's all coming. So cooking, I will need you all because I'm not going to be sitting here cooking in the kitchen by myself. I need you guys. Like, we want to come and you cook. That's how it's going to work. So super excited about the cooking show. And I've already got one guy. His specialty is he's a pastry chef. So his specialty is baking. But, we want to challenge people to do different things. Oh, my God. I'm excited about the cooking show because y'all know I love to cook and I love food. And I love to see people cooking and I love to see people. Oh, it's going to be, we're going to have a culture show. Oh, my God. I'm excited. I am legit excited. Now, we've been thinking about this for a really long time because, for years I've been talking about the cooking show. I've been talking about lots of different, the youth show. And we haven't kicked it off. But it's coming together now in a really big way. And so the excitement is brewing. And, I'm here to help the content creators where they need help and to help them put shows together and all this amazing stuff. It's going to be so exciting. Listen, I'm here for it. I cannot wait. So yes, cooking. Miss Stacy wants to do shows around like some of her juicing and stuff. So she's going to start recording like some of her juicing. She makes mean smoothies. Now I keep telling her, don't be making no smoothies around me because I can't really, I can't indulge in a smoothie anymore. But she's got some mean smoothie recipes. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm so in love with CMR TV and hasn't even launched yet. You guys are going to love it. He should do his own show. I mean, I'm looking for creative people, artistic people. If you want to do a show about painting, I listen, there's going to be something for everyone. Okay? I won't be fooling behind you on no midnight show. I'll be sleeping. I'm too old for midnight gossip. These young people not too old though, Miss Lucille. You sit there. They looking forward to that show. Relationship advice after dark. The show should be called After Dark because I can see it now. All right. And this is Dr. Ruth. That was your name, right? This is Dr. Ruth with your After Dark segment. Call in. We've got relationship advice, sex advice, the whole 9 yards. It would be so cool. I'm excited. All right. V the Money says, I want to start a travel channel. Well, do you travel? Because if you travel, then you could do a travel show for us. But if you're not traveling, how can you do a travel show? And you got to be able to, that would be fun. Love the idea of a culture show. So do I. Damien says the Bun Up Hour. That one's funny. Via the money. The Caymanian diaspora. I always feel like I'm pronouncing that word wrong. But you know what? Caymanians abroad. I've talked about that show idea forever. Now is your chance to get in on it and to do a show about Caymanians living abroad. All of you that are in Europe, the UK and stuff, get together and do a show. We got fitness. Carla's coming on board with fitness and wellness shows, exercising, chair routines, chair yoga, all this amazing stuff. So we'll have the content creators coming on the program so that you can know a bit more about their shows. And so that's going to be super exciting. But yeah, so I'm busy this week. And this person says, I want to be involved. I just logged on. So we're going to talk, girl. We are going to talk. So yes, I'm meeting with a lot of content creators now individually, as well as with groups, and getting people to get their stuff together. It is going to be amazing. So here's how it's going to work. CMR TV is going to launch first online. So cmrtv.com is coming very, very soon. Then we're going to test everything because, we need to have a testing environment. We're going to test it, make sure it's good. Flow and C3, good as gold. We're going to have a channel on there. Logic, we're still trying to figure out who still works at Logic so we can talk to them and get all of that lined up. Then the radio application, all that is going to take a little bit longer, but then a lot of these shows are going to be cross-platformed on CMR TV, streaming, plus radio, plus YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So wide tentacles, bringing the whole CMR community together. It is going to be amazing. Strong Wilt says we need a Jerry Springer show. I think we might have that covered here in the Cold Hard Truth a lot of mornings. So, you've been to all these countries. Well, do you have footage? Yes. I mean, you need money to travel, though. I'm not gonna lie, travel is not cheap anymore. So maybe we could talk about it, but reach out. Okay, let me go because I've got a meeting this afternoon with another content team, and we're pulling it all together. What a beautiful thing. Oh, I'm so excited. Wow. Don't you love when your dreams are coming true, when you're working for it and things are starting to happen? Oh, it's going to be lovely. So if you're interested, please reach out. The more the merrier is what I say. You guys have my contact email, WhatsApp me. And so I was asking, do you think Cayman is abroad? So come back to Cayman. Should come back to Cayman? No, I think we should do a Caymanians Abroad show. We'll have stuff covered here. But in terms of a show, what is it like to live in the UK? Do an episode about grocery shopping, traffic, and we want to see this stuff. For those of us who don't live there, a lot of Caymanians have never been to the UK. We don't know what it's like, but we're curious, we're interested, and we want to see and hear about it from the perspective of a Caymanian, like a Caymanian, authentic Caymanian voice. So yeah, that's what it's all about. All right. First Caymanian Auditor General appointed was the headline. All right. No shade, but I'm going to throw some shade. Mr. Patrick Smith. I don't know the man from The Man in the Moon. Don't know who he is. I'm sure he's well qualified and everything, but please, first Caymanian, not quite. Okay, you have Cayman status. I don't know, yes, legally you're a Caymanian. You know how many people were messaging me yesterday? Sandy, this man is not a Caymanian. I mean, he's originally from Bermuda or somewhere, but listen, I don't know what to say. I mean, he has status, so I guess legally he's Caymanian. But a lot of people were offended by the fact that they're pushing, like, oh, this is the first Caymanian. And everybody's like, How about we can get like a son of the soil, native Caymanian, born Caymanian, actually get to these positions? So don't give him the title being the first Caymanian. First Caribbean man? Caribbean first status holder? I mean, I guess that doesn't have the same ring to it. But I see that side of the equation. He's been here. He began his audit career in KPMG Barbados. That's where he's from in 1996. Not a Caymanian. Okay, now you have Cayman status. Still not quite the same. When you talk to Caymanians, they're like, who is he? Well, who he thought? Somebody in Barbados, you're like, then he's not the first Caymanian. I guess government trying to do their thing. Make it look good. Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Patrick. I hope you do a fine job. I don't know you, but good luck to you. What a mess. I don't know what to say. Anywho, let me go write a story and then get ready for my 1:00 meeting. And I think I'm going to try to squeeze in another one. And then tomorrow, please make sure tomorrow you tune in early because we're going to have Premier Andre Ebanks. Remember, he promised Premier Access with Andre Ebanks. Premier Andre, the Honorable Andre Ebanks now. And the Deputy Premier is also going to be on the show. But do not fear. A lot of the ministers have committed to coming on the show. Some of them I need to sit down and have a conversation because, some of them still licking their wounds post-election. And so we need to sit down and talk about it. They'll get over it. I'm already over it. I'm like, let's move on for the betterment of the Cayman Islands. And it is what it is. Patrick Smith, somebody say, who is he? Magdalene said, has been asking the same question. He's not Caymanian. Now that Caymanians, ... His name is Patrick Smith, and he is from Barbados. I think he's been here a hot minute, so he probably has status by now because he has been in the office of the Auditor General's office for quite some time. So congratulations to you, Mr. Smith, but hopefully you don't get offended. I think you'll understand the point when we say you shouldn't be doing backflips that he's the first Caymanian. First Bajan that got to work in the Cayman Islands as Auditor General. There you go. All right. Speak the truth and shame the devil, honey chill. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's show, as always. So tomorrow, Premier will be on, Deputy Premier will be on, and we've got some other candidates coming up here shortly. So appreciate you tuning in, asking them, get your questions ready. I saw someone asking about immigration reform. Have they done anything with that yet? That certainly falls under Mr. Michael Miles. And so, we'll talk about some of the areas of responsibility, who's responsible for what, and how quickly we can start to see some action. So I know they're working, I'm sure, already on the SPS. We'll inquire about that, what some of the priorities are. And then, bringing it to you right here. Beautiful folks, King Robbie, you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Be good.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.